Hi, it's Matt again from Glaucoma Pirates. Just coming at you now with a next video, which is video 4. Obviously, the last video was about my diagnosis. This video is going off track a little bit. I just wanted to do a video about eye drops generally, really, because they play a big part in our lives for people with glaucoma, and I was worried that I'd be giving you lots of information about eye drops at different stages, or I'd be, getting confused about them. So I just wanted to do a generic, general eye drop post video. So taking eye drops for people with glaucoma is can be quite daunting, especially initially when you start using them. There's a lot of experimentation of how the best way of putting them in, the most comfortable way of putting them in, learning which eye drops sting a little, which ones might make your eye red, which ones are fine, and also a big learning curve about the best way of putting eye drops in, as far as you're supposed to block your tear ducts when you put them in for a minute or two to prevent the eye drops from getting into your system, blinking and then wiping off the excess so you don't get any adverse reactions with your skin and things like that. And I know some people do. The amount of eye drops that I've had to have over the last 2.5 years is just ridiculous, and to talk about every single eye drop and what it does and all the different brand names of that particular eye drop is one, I can't remember half of the details about individual eye drops, and two, it's just a absolute minefield. So I'm going to talk generally about eye drops. I'm going to name some eye drops just to give you an idea of the drops that I have taken over time. These eye drops, some of them offer lowering pressure, which most people with glaucoma are taking regularly. Some of them are eye drops that I've taken post-surgeries, so anti-scarring eye drops, steroids, that sort of thing. And some of these eye drops are just used generally daily for moisturising the eye and to stop that sort of stinging that you get from using a lot of eye drops. When I've done a period of say I'm doing 3 eye drops in a row, like over a 45-minute period, I'll then usually do take some moisturiser, which I find helps. With all eye drops, you always have to understand that when you put the eye drops in, with me anyway, the vision is slightly impaired, it's slightly blurry for like a few minutes afterwards. So it's important not to put eye drops in while you're driving, or just as you're about to get into a car or something like that, or if you need your vision particularly for the next 10 minutes, it's not the time to put an eye drop in. Also good to say, all eye drops, if they say 2 a day or 3 a day, work out timings. What I tend to do is it's 2 a day. I'll take maybe 8 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock at night, or 7 o'clock at night, so they're evenly spread, and just general stuff like that. So the list of eye drops I'm currently taking, well, not currently taking, but have taken, are Dexafree, Monopost, Clinitas, Levofloxacin, Cyclopentolate, Iopidine, Cosopt, Icurvis, iPharm, Azaga, Evolve. I'm currently taking 2 Icurvis a day, 1 Monopost a day, 2 Trusopt a day, and 6 Dexafree a day, because I'm still got some scarring that needs protecting on the one eye. There are certain eye drops that I personally have had certain reactions to, and that I can't take anymore, or I'm intolerant to take anymore unless I absolutely have to. And that is, I haven't got all of the brand names, because as you know, the thing with eye drops is, I might call something Cosopt and it might have 3 different names in different countries, and sometimes they use the actual name of the chemicals that are in them, and sometimes they use brand names, and it can get very confusing, which is why I'm not going to attempt to go through every single eye drop and tell you what it does, and it's not about that. But the eye drops I have a reaction to are eye drops with beta blockers in. Now, I'm not going to go through a list of eye drops that contain beta blockers, but what I tend to do is every time I'm prescribed a different eye drop, I'll Google it and find out if it's got beta blocker in it or not now. Although my particular surgeon and doctors know that I'm intolerant to beta blockers, so they don't prescribe them to me now. One of the beta blocker eye drops that I did have a problem with was called Tearpex, which I believe Trusopt is similar to Tearpex, apart from it doesn't contain the beta blocker. So the symptoms that I had with beta blocker eye drops, and still have if I take them, which I tend not to, is for some reason, inexplicably, it increases my anxiety ridiculously. A day or so after I start taking them, my anxiety levels just build up, and then when I come off them a day later, I'm back to level again. Mine's back to normal. So I don't know how that works. I don't know what the mechanics of that is. I don't know if that's a popular reaction to beta blockers. My doctors had heard of it and sort of, reacted to it quite quickly and told me, beta blockers can do that. So we'll take you off the beta blockers. So that's where I am with beta blockers. And so eye drops generally, like I've said, they're not a pleasant, but they are necessary. I always say, my wife sometimes will say to me, "Oh, don't do that one today. It makes your eyes sore or whatever." And it's like, you must take the eye drops that the doctor is telling you to take. If you have a problem with one, tell the doctor, and he'll give you a replacement one or tell you to come off it or whatever. But always follow the instructions. Always take the eye drops as you're supposed to and the quantity you're supposed to, and it will ultimately help you. Hopefully, the eye drops. There's a lot of people out there that are just taking one eye drop and they've had glaucoma for 25 years and it's always controlled their eye pressure and there's no problems. So there's other people, unfortunately like me, that are on lots of eye drops and their pressure is still high, but would be higher without them. So although I'm still having to have surgeries, and the dream is always for everybody one day not to have to take eye drops. And please God, maybe that will happen. There's lots of research at the moment apparently about implants that might be available in the future that slow release these things into the eye, so you won't have to take eye drops. So we can all hope for a better future with eye drops, but for now they're a necessary evil. So I think that's pretty much everything I need to say generally about eye drops. Just keep putting them in, keep the faith, make sure they're in date, and if you have any problems with any specific eye drops, just speak to your doctor, speak to your surgeons about it, and I've always found them very helpful if I'm having an adverse reaction to an eye drop. Okay, well that's about it for eye drops. Please subscribe. Yeah, hope you're enjoying the videos. Thanks a lot. See you soon. Cheers.